Welcome to BECBC's weekly podcast. This week we're delighted to have John Grainger, Executive Director for the Cluster, talk to us. Welcome, John. A lot has happened over the last few days. How has that impacted businesses and individuals?
Mid-morning on Tuesday, the 24th of March. It's an interesting day for me because tomorrow, 25th of March, would be my father's 100th birthday. So I'm always reminded of things at this time of year. And the generation that's gone past, and the generation that's had to deal with lots of different issues, but nothing like as great as we're currently feeling as a community. Now, in the last 24 hours, of course, there has been less of emphasis on business and more of an emphasis on personal movement. And we've seen that with the Prime Ministerial broadcast at 8:30 yesterday evening, when he implored people actually to stop the movement of people. Now, this does have a business connotation, of course, because it means that other than essential workers, people are asked to stay at home if they possibly can. And I think this is the big question that's being asked today amongst our member companies about just who those workers might be. They are people, obviously, that are working in the NHS and the security services and so forth. But the biggest question has been around construction workers. And are they actually essential workers? Well, in some cases, of course, they have to be, because they might be doing site security work, or they might actually be moving to mothballing situations. So we've got to understand that maybe for even a short time, some of those people are going to be quite active. So we might see quite a few vehicles on the road at any given time. I think that the main issue of the day, though, is how long it is taking government to interpret some of the messages that they've been giving as headlines over the last few days. Now, clearly, one of the things that we're waiting for at the moment on this date, 24th of March, we still have no information. Hopefully we might get some this evening about how the government is going to treat self-employed people in a similar way to how they've treated the employed workforce so far. And I say that because there are many members in Britain's Energy Coast Business Cluster who fall into that category and will naturally be worried at the present time. So we are hoping that the Chancellor might address some of those issues fairly soon today.
What can businesses expect for the future, and how do you think they can prepare?
The most important things I like to say is for members to look at our portal on our website, because it is updated constantly. And I'm afraid it will continue to be updated constantly because it's an ever-changing and fast-moving feast. One of the biggest issues at the moment is how do business look at getting business support grants? We've already seen one or two of the district or borough councils putting out notice on their website, but it is very difficult to access it at the moment. So we're imploring the government through different avenues to actually get some of the details out there, because people will be able to register, but they won't yet be able to receive any funding. There's a natural lag with all of these things. It's all very well the government saying you can have this, you can have that, and so forth. But it looks as if it's taking quite a lot of working days actually to get the detail through. And that's particularly frustrating for all of our members who are thinking now about how they're able to pay and compensate their workforce. And furlough arrangements, again, which will be updated on the website. So this is one of the things that's key at the moment. You can see that there are some details on websites, but carrying those details through is going to be quite difficult. The other issue as well is the formation of this British Business Bank for business interruption. Again, some of our eagle-eyed members have been already trying to access that. It's not easy, as a lot of these things are, and hopefully it will be simplified in days to come. But British Bank essentially has around about 40 banks and financial institutions who are part of this network who will actually release funds. But of course, there will be an application process, and it's again waiting for the detail of that, which is particularly frustrating for a lot of our members. One thing I do want to mention, though, is what we can do for other people in the community, not just the business community, but the people that we live and work with. And that is how we could have some requisite skills that are not going to be utilized for some time. It could be put to good use. I'm thinking particularly about the farming community at this very time, because obviously there are spring lambs coming through, auction marts are closed, and there are things that we need to be aware of. Cumbria has the second biggest red meat herd and is also the second largest milking field in the UK. If some of those key workers in farms actually are not able to milk cows at a particular time, we need to have people standing by. And there are lots of people out there who could probably do this, broad skills within the rural sector, maybe jobs they've had before, maybe things they did when they were very young in school holidays, things like that. That's very important. Now, the other thing is that the business cluster is feeding into the Cumbria Business and Economy Recovery Group, which is meeting twice a week at the moment. And that's important that we get messages from you to actually say what you're needing, the issues that you've got, and where we can help and where we can have a direct lobby, therefore, into government. On the general needs and wants, we have a website that we've referred to before. We'd ask you to use that, things you can offer and things that you want. So this podcast is one of a series that will be running in the next few weeks, and I look forward at some stage to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you so much, John. And for everyone who is listening, please continue to go to our website where you will find important links and also engage with us on what kind of needs you have and how we might be able to help you. Thank you.